Good day, brothers and sisters, One Nation Tribal Alliance, friends and family near and far, across the pond and this side of the lake. Today, I am here because I've been asked a lot of questions about relics. So today, I'm here to briefly talk to you about relics that have, you know, I guess resonated with me to where what I use, what type of relics I use, and why I use it. But it's still up to you to decide what relics you want to use because you have to use relics that resonates with you. So to start out with, I'm going to say that uh, connection on the sacred part of relics is, relics are to link the physical world in or with the spiritual realm. And so relics are basically used when you use it to connect, not only to connect, but to have assistance into the spiritual realm of whether you're healing, cleansing, or protecting. And the relics that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about three subjects: plants, feathers, and gems. So in the plants, you know, a lot of the plants, when you connect with, every plant has a spiritual being within them because they're alive. We're alive. Our spirits can connect together with the plant. And when we do that, we will get more, connection with the plant by when the plant connects with us, it sends out an aroma, a fragrance. Also, spiritually, when you smell the aroma, it settles you down, your physical body, settles your mind down. And some plants will also actually raise your vibration to where you make the connection with the higher source. So today I'm going to talk about peace lily, snake plant, and of course, sage. So I will talk about those three things as I go along. The other ones I want to talk about are feathers. Feathers are very important in a native way. And as you all know, we use that number one feather, eagle feather, and I'm going to tell you why and how it is used and for what reason. So I'm going to talk about eagle feather and I'm going to talk about, the crow and macaw feathers, what it means to us in Zuni. Then I'm going to go into the turkey feather. So those are the feathers I'm going to talk about. Now, gems is another thing. Gems meaning turquoise, abalone shell, and crystals. Those are the three gems that I'm going to talk about as to why I use them and how I resonate with them and how it connects me in a spiritual setting to where I can get some information or I can get assistance or I can get connected. So, preservation of power. Relics are believed to carry the essence, energy, or blessings in a traditional form. And by saying that, we use relics in many different ways to where in plants, again, as I say, when you connect the aroma of the plant, a lot of the plants aroma, such as, when you get a smell of a beautiful, beautiful flower, it brings that essence and the spirit upon you to where it either calms you down, relaxes you, and it'll make you think deeper. So the aroma on plants are very important. And so not only does it do that to you, You know, when you connect with the plant, communicate with the plant, talk to it like it's your brother or your sister. Good morning, plant. How are you doing, plant? And just bring that, bring your spirit to that plant and let the plant meet you halfway. And that plant will be a happy plant. And so communicate with your plant, and when it's a happy plant and you wander off and you come back into the room, you can actually smell the aroma of the plant. But if you have a busy life and you don't have time for anything, believe me, you will not smell that aroma. So connect with the plant, communicate with the plant. Each plant has a different things that it can do for you, but you have to connect with it. It's ready to connect with you, but only you have to connect. Feathers. Feathers have a significant meaning for being placed, and I will share with you why we use a turkey feather in our ceremonial regalia, our prayer sticks, you know, our healing ceremonies. Why we use turkey feathers. And I'm going to talk to you about the eagle feather also. And I'm going to talk to you about the macaw and the crow feather, what the meaning behind these feathers are, and how we connect with them. And as far as we know, this has been passed down as we were coming out from the underworld going to where we are. Because again, there's a lot of things that occurred during that time. And I'm fortunate that my tribe really carried that oral oral teachings to this day. And so these teachings are very, very important because it connects you with how we evolved. Now, how about the gems? Well, I'm going to talk about turquoise and abalone shell and crystals. The reason behind these three, I'm going to talk to you about because, you know, we use turquoise quite a bit in ceremonies, offerings, in our jewelry, you know. So turquoise is a beautiful gem for the Zuni people. For me, it is too. You know, so abalone shell. You know, what's the significance between the abalone shell behind it? Significance behind it. Well, I will tell you that when we use it as cleansing, it has a strong, you know, way of protecting us. Crystals. Why crystals? Well, crystals are used in many different ways in medicine, protection, and again, bringing in the positive energy and removing the negative. So I would briefly touch up on those real quick. I'm just quickly trying to run through what I'm going to talk about. So, cultural and ancestral role, traditional spiritual relics play a strong role that has been passed down since the beginning of our migration. Most of these relics play various roles. So that was a brief introduction of what I want to talk about. Now, in the plants, let's talk about plants. Plants play various roles, and such as cleansing. I said sage. Sage, when you connect with the sage, and you know You can connect with it by removing the negative, cleansing your body, cleansing your patient, cleansing the house, whatever you use sage for. In cleansing is powerful. It's been passed down to us because sage, when we first met the dark, sage was one of the herbs that removed the dark out of our way. So this is why we use sage. I would go in deeper about that part, but that's a totally different subject. But anyway, in our all migration stories or teachings, sage did play a significant role of removing the dark. Now, sage can also be used as medicinal plant. Sage, a couple of things it does. One, if you have an upset stomach, grab you a few pieces of sage, get you some hot water, steep it in there, let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes, drink it, it'll clean out your digestive system. You know, if you have gas, whatever, it'll calm it down. If you have an upset stomach, it'll calm it down. Sage can also remove some of the parasites in your body. So sage using as medicine is very important. Now I go into, well, we got sage. You know, we also have different types of, you know, plants. Like I'm gonna go into peace lily. Well, what does peace lily do? Well, peace lily, the main word peace is that it calms people down. With these live plants, you have to be able to communicate with them. You have to be able to meet with them. Good morning, plants. How are you doing today, plant? I'm doing great. Let's have a wonderful day. You know, meet it halfway. Talk to it. And, you know, go over there once in a while. You know, use your hands, stir up the soil, says, are you comfortable? You know, check the water. Need the watering, give it a little water. You know, water is spirit. Give it a little spirit. And compliment it. Boy, you look beautiful. You smell beautiful today. Because what peace lily does is if there's a lot of hostility in your house, bring it in. Its aroma will calm things down. And this is why I like to have a peace lily. This is why we have a peace lily in the house. Not that we're hostile, but because we love the aroma of how it brings peace in our mind. Because what is out there can really mess your mind up. And that's, I believe, that's the intention of them trying to mess us up. But if you go into your house where there is peace lily in there, the aroma of the peace lily will calm you down. You know, get out of that world, get out of that 3D realm, because you're in a higher realm. You be in a fourth, and because, as I say, when you're in a fourth dimension, and you have to go through the 3D realm, third dimensional realm, you know, you can navigate through it and get out and not become a part of it. So peace lily is there to calm you down, calm any kind of, you know, pressuring challenges that may exist. But that's what peace lily aroma is all about. Now, then I go into snake plant. Snake plant is very important because, you know, in my way, the way I was taught about snakes is that snakes are actually there to protect you. Snakes used to protect us during our migration. They say in our oral history, they used to those snakes used to have legs. But they got in trouble by chasing the dark. And the dark did not like chasing it. So it took the legs off of it, is what all oral history said. But in the beginning, when the snake first come out of hibernation, they can see. And that's when the attacks or defensive of a snake is minimum because they can see us. They can see who is coming. They can make their presence known. And, when you see a snake, yeah, everybody jumps 20 feet in the air when they see a snake, but snakes are really not that bad. But when they go blind, they feel with their spirit. They feel your spirit. When you come across a snake, they say probably around July, they start turning blind. When they turn blind, they use their spirit to know what is coming towards them. They can feel the ground vibration if you're walking towards them. They can only strike at you if you're there to harm them. And if you have in your mind, if I see a snake, I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to let it go. It's not going to hurt you. But if you have intentions to say, if I see a poisonous snake, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it. Yes, they feel that. They feel your spirit about that. So that's when they strike at you to defend themselves. Well, snake plant is a very, very good defensive in your house. You go out in the outside world, in the 3D realm, you navigate through it and all that. When you come across, all that stuff is on you. So when you put a snake plant near your doorway and you open the door and you walk through in your house, the snake plant will remove those negative energies that you had collected while you're out there in a 3D realm and leave it out there. And so you don't bring it in the house, is what we were told. Some people back home, they have snake plants on the windows, in their doorways, in the rooms that people gather in. Like living room. When people come visit you, that's the first place they enter, is your living room. Because when they enter there, that snake plant, if they have any, negative energies on them, will keep it outside. So snake plants are very important. So those are the three plants that I want to talk to you about. Sage, peace lily, and snake plant. There's others. There are other ones, but those are three things I just wanted to bring out to you. So if this resonates with you, enjoy them. Now, I go into feathers. Feathers have a very significant part in a native. I'm going to reverse it by going with the eagle feather last. The first one I want to go with is turkey feathers. Turkey feathers we use in our prayer sticks, in our traditional costumes, in our decorations of protecting our houses. Turkey feathers is very important. Now, why is a turkey feather so important? Well, turkey feather is a warning and a guide. They said during the Great Flood, the turkey feather were guiding the people into a higher place as the flood waters were coming. As the flood waters were coming, they're pushing the people to go up in a higher place, higher place, higher place. And you make sure that everybody was in the higher place before it went up to the higher place. And they say that as the flood waters were coming, The turkey, it needs like a runway before it can fly off. They just don't, not like a regular bird where they just jump and take off. They have to make a running start, running. Well, as the floodwaters are coming, they're making a running start. They start taking off like a plane, slowly but surely, they're going up. The tail feathers of the feather was still in the floodwaters as it was coming. And when the floodwater first comes, it's going to have all kinds of, as they say, trash in that water that it is pushing down, whether it's off the mountain, whether it's off in the creek, whatever. It's picking up this trash and coming. So as a turkey tail went up and the floodwaters came and hit the tail, the turkey kept moving out. And that's why if you look at the turkey tail feather, the design on it is scribbled and it's got a lot of dots in it. That represents the trash that was in the floodwater. So we use turkey feathers as, again, ceremonial, because it guided us and protected us during the Great Flood. And we use it in our prayer sticks because, again, we thank the turkey for bringing us to safety, guiding us to higher places, and to make sure that everybody was out of harm's way before it took off, risking his own life. But so we use turkey feathers for that. Now, I talked about the macaw and crow feather. Macaw and crow feather are very important to us. The macaw, back in our oral traditional story, we come out from the fourth underworld, and as we were migrating to the place where we need to be, as they call the center place, we started populating to where we became a big tribe. And I'm not talking about Zuni. We talk about everybody: red, yellow, black, and white. We all became a big tribe. And the two people, the two spirits that was guiding us, said, "Okay, we need to divide y'all up." So they got two eggs, a blue egg and a beautiful, colorful egg. They said, "Okay, men, you choose which egg you want." So some men says, "I want the blue egg, I want the colorful egg." So those that picked the colorful egg, they stood on the north side. Those that picked the blue egg stood on the south side. Well, those were the men. Now, the women, they came and they said, "Okay," the men lined up, they got the egg, they rolled it, whoever the egg stopped at, that was their partner. So that's how they became partners. And I guess that was a way of saying that that's how you got married or whatever back in the day. But, you know, that's how they became partners as husband and wife, you know. And so, but when the eggs hatched, the colorful egg ended up being a crow, and the solid blue egg ended up being a macaw. And the macaw bird, the people from the south, they took it south. They took it south to them. And that's why Central America and all those areas, they have macaw birds, whereas up north, we have crows. And at one point, the two people before they left, the last two couple that before they left, they started saying, "Why do they get a beautiful feather? Why do we get a solid black feather?" They were complaining about that. They didn't like their choice. And they said, "Well, your choice, you made a choice. But that macaw feather, yes, he has all different colors in it and all that kind of stuff. The macaw bird does. But you get the crow feather, put it in the sunlight. Those colors in the macaw are in the crow feathers too, because you put it in the sunlight and you see it reflect. It's a rainbow feather. It may be solid black, but it's rainbow. So I said, okay. So now we use, you know, crow feathers in some of our regalia, and we also use macaw feathers. Whereas in the people from the south, they use macaw more, and they use some crow. So we made it easy for us to understand that. Now comes the eagle feather. Yes, the eagle feather, we say, is a good, strong feather. And, I don't know why, but you got protected under the United States law that eagle feathers are only going to be carried by the natives and all this. I don't, I can't figure out why, but I'm not going to touch up on that. I just wanted to bring it up. The eagle feather, the significance behind it is we use it in many, many ways in our traditional regalia, in our prayer sticks, and in our ceremonies. I, I'm going to say in our regalia, you see them a lot of places. If you go to a powwow, they have beautiful eagle feathers all around their back, and some carry the fans, eagle fans. But in Zuni, we use the same thing. We use it in our regalia when we have spiritual dances going on. We also use it in our medicine ceremonies to cleanse out, clear out what we're working on. We use it as a fan, I use it as a guide, we use it as a seer because we use it to really help us stay connected with the higher source. Eagle feather, we all understand the way I was taught is that when you have one, when you earn one, you earn it because you have your mindset of an eagle, which is patience, you know. And if you truly, truly earn that eagle feather, you'll understand why you have patience. An eagle and the eagle rises above everything. And you have to rise above everything. You can't let yourself get sucked in to the 3D realm. If you must go through it, you can navigate your way through it, but not become a part of it. That's the way the ego operates. Case in point, being patient. The eagle will be flying, and if a crow lands behind his back and starts pecking on the eagle, that eagle is not going to turn around and fight that turkey. That crow. The eagle is all he's going to do is he's just going to go up, up, up. There's no oxygen. By the time the crow realizes there's no oxygen and he suffocates up there while the eagle is gliding in the higher sky, all that crow can do is just suffocate and fall off. Then the eagle can come back down without fighting it. The other thing the eagles have real good sense of is their sense. One of the stories that I got was that a crow decided to go attack a baby eagle. When the crow was attacking a baby eagle, somehow lost one of his feathers in that nest. While the eagle came back home and saw that his baby eagle was attacked, saw that crow feather, took a scent off that crow feather. flew around until it found that scent and went down there and attacked the crow for attacking his baby. And could you imagine? That's like finding a needle in a haystack. That's how good of a scent they have. But why it rises above all? An eagle will be sitting on a tree, just relaxing, enjoying it. And if a storm comes, he's not going to hide under a tree. He's going to take off and glide to where he'll be gliding above the storm. And when the storm passes, then he'll come back down. Unless he has a nest with babies in it, then he'll go over there and he'll cover the nest up with his wings and everything as the storm comes. But I think that's pretty awesome that you can go above the storm and let the storm pass. So that tells me that if I earned that eagle feather, you know, I got to be sensitive to a lot of things. I got to be able to rise above the storm if anything is going on. I got to be able to watch my reaction because for every action there's a reaction. There's action going on. Think about how you're going to react before you react. You know, so these are the things about the relics that we use, plants and feathers. The final one is gems. I talked about turquoise, abalone shell, and I talked about crystal. Crystal used in a traditional way is that one, you use it crystal gazing, finding out the negative in the house, on the body, or around your surroundings. They use crystal gazing to do that. And to have not only do they use it in a ceremony, but they use it as protection. You put crystals in your house to ward off the negative energy, any negative spirits, whatever. To ward it off. And it will also use as a cleansing. What I tell a lot of people is that as part of your cleansing ceremony, you can find these little crystals that people kind of just throw away and all that. Get a bunch of them, put them in your soap dish. So when you do a ceremony or whatever, you get your natural soap. You go there, wash your hands with it, and you put the soap on top of that crystal because the soap takes the negative energy away from your body. And when you wash it, your hands are cleansed, but it absorbs the negative energy. Now, those crystals will absorb and take the negative energy out of that soap. Because if you put a fresh herbal soap on top of that crystals, after a while, those crystals will start getting cloudy. And when they do that, how you cleanse the crystals is you take that dish of crystals, put them in a basket on a full moon, take it outside on a full moon and let the grandma moon come and cleanse those crystals because they may be cloudy when you take them out there, but after the full moon, those crystals will clear up again. So crystals is used in that form. Now, we go to abalone shell. Abalone shell is used in cleansing. Why is it used in cleansing? Because you put your sage in there and you burn it, and as you're going around cleansing the house, cleansing the body, or whatever, you're using that sage to bring that negativity into that shell. And if you look at the shell, inside that shell, the matrix in it is like a sacred geometry pattern. It's got all kinds. So if you put the dark in there, the dark will never get out of it because it's still trying to find its way out, and it'll take forever for it to follow each path, trying to find its way out, is what they tell us. So when you use Abalone Shell, cleanse people, you're bringing that negativity in. You're using it to, cleanse the house, same thing. And again, like everything else, as you see it getting cloudy in there on a full moon, put it outside. Let Mother or Grandma Moon cleanse the abalone shell for you. Turquoise. Turquoise is used in many ways in Zuniwan. One of the ways that we use this, we natives are known to make silver and turquoise jewelry for their decorative in our body. Turquoise necklace, turquoise bracelets, rings, whatever, earrings. They're beautiful, but it has more meaning behind it than that. Turquoise we use in one of the ways is offering. When we do protection ceremony, we give turquoise to Mother Earth in exchange for requesting protection on us. We use turquoise to, in our healing ceremony, give it to Mother Earth and Creator, bring us guidance in our healing. So turquoise is very, very, powerful as far as energy exchange with Mother and Creator. Because this is Mother's gem, is what they call it, turquoise. The other way we use turquoise is that we get turquoise, we get our sacred cornmeal. We crunch up the turquoise and we mix it. Mix that with our cornmeal. The turquoise represents the male. The cornmeal, as you know, comes from the corn seed. Seeds are divine feminine. Turquoise is the masculine. And you, Mother, Father, and you, that's your Trinity. So when you give offering in the morning, Creator, using the turquoise, you're giving offering as a Trinity, mind, body, and soul, Mother, Father, and you. And when you give that sacred cornmeal, make sure you bring it through your frequency, through your vibration, your intent, because that's how you get your answers. That's how they come before you. As I say, because remember, the universe doesn't speak Zuni, English, Spanish, whatever. It understands our vibration. So when you start looking into relics, make sure you resonate with it. Make sure you understand or make sure you communicate with it on a daily basis. Make sure you cleanse them as it's needed. Take care of it. They'll take care of you. You take care of each other. Now, this is all I got to bring right now, but if you all have any questions, you can get a hold of us. OneNationTribalAlliance.com is our website. Feel free to get on and ask a question. Get on the bottom, scroll, and you can get a hold of us, contact us, and ask a question. I'll be glad to answer. So I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for watching our videos. I love y'all and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.